recruiter. They actually work at the company, and that's a big deal. And they messaged me, and if I look at...
Whoopsie. Ooh, woo.
While I can.
Hi.
Yeah, do like middle-ish and
Hey, welcome. Wait, whoa. Thank you for holding out as long as you could. Just like we've been holding out for the PS5 Pro, everybody, right? Am I right? Oh. Welcome, everybody, to the Renegade Realm Podcast, episode 73, if you can believe that. If you're new here, consider leaving a like at the least and a sub at the most. That'd be awesome. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'm joined, as always, by the beautiful, the lovely, and the exuberant, I don't know what that word means, actually, assassin.
Hey all, it's good to be here. As I was telling the rest of the panel, I was at
Are you
work.
here? It's hard to
Yeah.
It's hard to tell if you're here because I can't see your face. You might be
We
somewhere.
have
You
the
might be there.
wounded paw version.
Okay.
You could
all
be
right.
there. You could be there.
Can we go one
You could be there.
show without mentioning my lack of a camera, please? I'm begging y'all.
I'm just saying. I don't know if you're here. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I
am
can't tell.
No.
begging.
We can definitely do that when you turn on a camera.
Yeah.
That's how
I
it works.
Hey, Assassin.
Red,
How you been, man?
All right, let's
I've been
yeah.
great.
How have you been? How have you been?
I've been great. I was telling the rest of the panel I've had a pretty big day at work. Had to split the mail amongst a few other people, my coworkers, so I had to run to every door, deliver every big package just to make sure I got here on time for these three, well, yep, these three lovely people and for all of you. So, hello there. I'm doing great.
Hello
Just-
there.
Yeah.
Hello,
All right.
brother.
Ooh, brother, ooh. Real quick, shout out to so many people. Lotus Esprit, RSJ Fan, Andrew Cullinane, Grey Monad, It's Timmy version 2, Jake, Farq, Daniel Luna, Roger Terry, RSJ, I already said that, but I'll shout you out again. RSJ Fan, Arcane, Arcane? Well, Arcane came to the stream.
Oh,
Thank you. Arcane. Well, he's got kids. Nerds and Other Legends, Moose 1, Crippling Dead, Isaac Hayes, Assassin Entertainment. Wait, that's you, Assassin. Galveston, Game Seeker. Oh, gang, I'm so glad you made it, bro. BT Maverick. Let's see, who else is here? So many people. Barry Donnellan, the Game Adaptation Newscast. I think I already said that. There's so many people. The Elemental here, the Shadowling Dragon Wolf King is also here. Cold Eastwood and DeMarco Dude. Wow, DeMarco Dude. Did you know that you're on the panel?
That's me.
Congratulations.
I'm right there.
You're right there. Look at you.
Here.
Look at that guy. Will you look at him?
Would you just look at him? Oh man.
Would you
Yeah,
look at it?
Thank
Just
you all
look at it.
so. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Also with us is DeMarco, dude, the man that just pointed at himself. Yes.
Howdy.
Yes. Hey.
How's it going?
Hey. Well,
Happy
we're
to be
gonna
here.
talk about.
I can't wait to talk about your. I'm so excited to talk about your slightly. If everybody, Colt kind of made the joke. I was planning on making a joke, but if everybody wants to just super chat $700 times 4, because there's a pre-order that needs to be needs to be made.
It's fantastic. We're gonna talk about.
Yes.
Need.
We're gonna talk about the PlayStation 5 Pro. Don't y'all worry. Don't y'all worry. Your pretty little head. Pretty
Ooh.
little head. Speaking of pretty little head, as Holly is also here. That blue number. Thank you for being here.
Assassin's here, and then there's me.
And then there's you, right? So he's like, it's like,
Right.
well,
Right.
damn. And then there's Holly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought we were saving putting down Holly for Riskit Show, not us.
Oh, that happens enough without your help. It's fine.
Yeah,
I know,
they
that's
got
why
that
I'm saying
covered.
this is be a safe space for her, Red. Cut it out.
Well, come on. She knows. We're all. It's all part of the. It's all part of the thing.
Yeah,
Um,
I know.
Yeah. So, thank y'all so much for being here. Before we get into that, let's talk about what we've been playing on our PlayStations. I'm kidding. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Not true.
I'm not
It's
kidding.
not a joke.
That's
Uh,
not true.
Yeah, Holly, why don't you tell everybody what you've been into and what you've been playing?
So I came with show and tell, actually. I am one of the people who's like all digital all the time. Like I don't go into the physical stuff. I don't really want physical. I don't want the discs laying around, all that stuff, right? But I love Astrobot, and I missed the first round of pre-orders, or I didn't get in on the first round of pre-orders for the controller. And then I saw a deal pop up for the controller and the game, and it was like $10 off for the both of them put together. So I snagged it, so it was physical.
Oh.
And I was like, physical. But, so, I will give you guys credit because, and not most physical games aren't like this, but I wanted to do a little show and tell
Oh, look
with
at
the
this.
Astrobot.
Chat, you're gonna need to bring up your phone and look with your eyes.
Yeah.
She's gonna show some stuff.
Yeah, I have a few things. So they've got this cute little graphic inside where the disc goes.
Oh, yeah,
But-
that's dope.
But that's not the best part. The best part is inside there is
It's a poster.
a poster.
I
A
love that.
poster.
Oh shit! It's like a whole world. It's like the Astrobot world.
Can you see it?
That is
Yeah,
so
it's
cool.
the PS5. It's his
Oh,
ship.
that's really,
His
Oh,
ship
that
is
is
the
very cute.
PS5.
I see it.
Oh,
That's so
yeah.
cool.
And the other side is a whole cartoon.
Oh, it's like a cut, like the old school
That's really cute.
newspaper. Yeah, I love. God,
Yeah.
that's
It's a very
This is the
cute.
benefits of physical. Like, it is proving why physical still matters right here.
No idea that
Right
was
before all
coming,
your
and
very eyes, you're seeing it. You're witnessing.
no idea that was in there. Didn't really want it per se. I didn't want physical, but every once in a while you get stuff like that, and you're like, okay, all right, that was really, really nice. And then I of course brought.
Oh, what? Did you buy?
It
Is
is
that?
the cute. It's
That's
the
brand new?
limited edition.
I'll hold this
Oh
up
my
for
God.
comparison so everyone can see.
Oh, look at this, guys! Look at
The
this. This is
difference.
quality stuff. Look at this. You get
so
the
you
full
so
look
you
at
can
comparison.
see
Would you just look at this?
directly the comparison.
That's
And
amazing.
of course, everybody knows the lights around the touchpad.
I'm
Right.
so jealous.
That's
It is
amazing.
the cutest controllers. Actually, looks even nicer in person because these side panels here are high gloss as opposed to like the regular flat white on the rest. Anyway, so it was really cute and it was better than I thought it was going to be. So I was really happy with it. And the game is just as amazing as everybody keeps talking about. So it is so good. It is absolutely fantastic. I think Assassin's further than I am, and I'll let him talk about the fun he was having last night without spoilers, of course. But there's like 4 like overall worlds and then small worlds, or like levels within the worlds, and I am through 2 of the 4. So that's where I am. So Assassin, I did the octopus boss.
You did the octopus boss
Last.
battle?
Yes.
Nice.
That was the last one I did.
So for me, there are 5 main galaxies in the game, and then there's a quote unquote secret lost galaxy.
Oh yeah,
I've already
I've
done
been doing
3.
those too.
I've done 3 of the main ones, and I've done a good majority of the lost galaxy one.
There are 10
So
10 of them in the Lost Galaxy. I've done 4 so far.
I think I've done 6, if I recall correctly. But yeah, so I was let's just say that apparently Team Asobi decided to consult from software to make the most cutest Souls-like 3D platformer, at least for one particular level. Jesus Christ! Even Gene Park actually screenshotted and it was like, "Oh, we're getting to Mario levels of difficulty now." That's the level, Holly. If you actually look up that tweet from
You should
Gene
have heard
Park.
Assassin last night on the party
Yeah.
chat. The 4 of us were in a party chat, and the 3 of us were playing Warhammer, and he was screaming more than we were about Astrobot.
Then Space
I
Marine
wasn't
2.
screaming.
Wow.
Hey, I have my. I was not screaming. Thank you very much. I was just more like, oh god damn it. I was more or less happily losing.
It was
my
absolutely screaming.
You were mad.
There was
Losing it,
100%
man.
screaming. I will just have you know, I turned you down because you were playing a different game than us, so I wanted to make sure that I could hear Holly and Red, and I still heard coming from through the microphone like.
That's literally how it sounded. Actually, a completely blown out audio and everything. It was perfect. That was a good impression of Assassin. I love that.
That was a very terrible impression, actually.
No offense. I'm not even saying that as an insult. I wish that I got that into my game. I was actually getting that into Warhammer, but
Oh yeah,
in a
Moose
different way.
in
Not
chat.
angry.
Yeah, the lava level. Yes, that one. That fucking level. I swear to fucking god.
Love it.
I told
Is that in the
Holly.
3rd one?
That is in
In the 3rd Nebula?
in the 4th one. In the 4th one.
Okay.
The one with the yeah. Anyway, I was yeah. I told Holly. I think about halfway through when I was trying it, I was like, whoever this bot that I'm trying to save, I hate your franchise forever after this, because it was fucking terrible.
Which is hilarious because I have found I don't know if it's just Astrobot just clicks with me or if it's just the world isn't that difficult, but I've just been mostly happily flying through the stuff without too many issues. There haven't been, there's been a few parts where I'm like, oh, and then I get back at the check just because bad timing, I didn't pay attention, or whatever, right? But I never got like mad. But there has been a time where I've done like 4 or 5 times to go back into it, but I haven't had anything that's like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
now I'm
one
mad.
level, that one level out of the like 50, 60 plus that I've already done so far, that was the only hard one, and it is hard, very.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's nice to have something to remind you that sometimes you suck at video games.
I know. I expect that from software, not from fucking PlayStation. Jesus Christ.
So besides
yeah,
Astrobot, yeah, it's amazing. There's just this, like, I was trying to explain it to Red the other day because it's really hard to explain. There's just something that, like, when you have something super special in your life, or you just have this like warm and fuzzy, slightly emotional feeling about something. That's what you feel when you're playing Astrobot pretty much the whole time. Like, it's, I don't know, you pick up these like backpacks that give you special abilities in not every world, but a lot of them, and each one is different, and each one is like a really fun mechanic.
How did you describe it? Well, you described it as like just a cozy feeling. Is that what you said? Like the verbiage?
Yeah, it's really hard to. It's like being in a hug by somebody you love, right? Like it's. I don't know. You just feel happy inside, kind of childlike, but not. But as I don't consider Astrobot, like, I consider it for everybody. I don't really think it's a kid's game per se. I feel like it's just for anyone, period. But you do feel that like warm hug, kind of cozy. Yeah.
That's.
I don't know. It's weird.
I love that. I love that phrasing. I love that. No, I love that phrasing. And I'm absolutely biased because right now, whenever we do the show, I always have like some kind of music going on the background, because I know that like the stream, you guys hear music, but we don't. We just. So I always have something going on in the background.
Do the same thing.
And I was actually gonna say right now. Yeah, so right now I have just like some ambient Mass Effect music going on, and it just switched to the Mass Effect Andromeda soundtrack. And iconically, Mass Effect Andromeda I would actually describe in a very similar way. I know this is completely off topic from Astrobot, which is recent and novel, and people actually probably want to hear a little bit about. But like Mass Effect, I'll keep this short. Mass Effect Andromeda, the one thing I can absolutely give praise for that game is when they set out to make the tone of it, they exactly said that they wanted it to feel more hopeful, younger, like more adventurous, more spirit, like more of that kind of youthful optimism. Absolutely I get that vibe from the game. So now I have the soundtrack going, and it made me think of that exact thing, just that coziness, that comfortability. That is the feeling that the game gives me, even though it's not the strongest in the franchise by a long shot. But there you go. Anyway, I'm sorry. That was my digression.
No.
It's a good
we all have weird things like that it doesn't necessarily click with everyone the same way, right? But for me,
100%.
This game in particular is just very, I don't know, there's something that, tugs at your heartstrings without, quite knowing it
inviting.
Yet, right? Yeah. And I've seen a couple posts on Twitter about ending credits and people going, "I'm not crying, you're crying," and I'm like, "Oh no," because I already feel like it's so hits in the feels in all the best happy ways right now. You know what I mean? That like when they do something inevitably that's going to be very cool at the end, I know I'm probably just gonna lose it. But on the flip side of that, Red and I finished Gears 1 finally.
15
and we started
hours.
Gears 2. And brother.
Yeah, so we
doggy.
played specifically, just so everyone knows, so we played into, we played all the way through Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition. So it's remastered, it's up-res, it's audio quality, it looks great.
We got all the COG tags. We went and did all the tags.
Yep. Got all the collectibles and everything. We felt like, yes.
Played on hardcore.
Yeah, we played on the hardcore difficulty, and it was so good. Like, oh my god, it was just so good. Like, I think maybe Holly and I are like a perfect fit for hard difficulty and co-op modes if the game is good, because we died probably like 200 times like throughout the whole game. And we would just die and be like, all right, so this time we would just laugh. Like, we would die like 5 times in a row, and I'm like, do you think that we should go left, or do you there was no like fuck, like there was no like actual like rage and dude.
Will you get your shit together? Because
like, what the fuck are you doing? I told you. Yeah, exactly. Stupid asshole. Yeah, it was great. So we rolled credits on that, and so and this was like late. Okay, this was like, it was like almost 2 in the morning.
Not like when I called you an idiot in Warhammer.
Yeah, besides that, because that's it. We'll get into that too, because Space Marine 2 is peak. It's amazing. But yeah, so we played. So we beat Gears of One. That's good. Gears of One. We beat Gears of One Ultimate Edition, and then I said, you know what? We're on a roll. Let's just start Gears of War 2. That way because we literally just beat it. Let's just start Gears of War 2. And I will tell you, as soon as we started it, Holly and I both went, brother,
Marcus looks like a raisinette, bro. Like, he's got all these like lines and wrinkles. His neck looks like if you open up a casket of somebody who died like 3 years ago,
it's
and
like,
there's just the skin left, and it's like,
it looks.
And
really
Anya's face was just like plasticized, like.
Yeah, so and the thing is, like, in the game still feels great. Like, it feels great to like
Thank
as
God.
a game. Yeah, thank God, because that was the one saving grace, and I immediately was like, well, this takes some getting used to. So
We're like, you want to turn this one on story mode just
to get on through it. Yeah, because so anyway, so we beat that, and that was it. But for anyone who's listening or watching right now, just look up a comparison of Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition versus Gears of War 2, just like the regular edition, and you'll see what we're talking about. It's crazy. So,
and I will tell you that upscaling that they do does not help graphics. It probably is actually worse. You probably wish you had downscaled it so that it looked like it was on a CCTV instead of what you get.
At least,
do you?
At least then, it would look like the. Have you ever seen the mods for Skyrim where it just completely makes it absolutely just look like a potato game?
Yes. I kind of love that stuff though. So I kind of love that stuff.
That's like, it's there are mods for Skyrim that 100% make it look like this really old. The graphics are all just blobs. You cannot tell like what a grass from a tree is. It's hysterical, but it's actually an interesting style. Like, it is an art style. I have to give it credit. So at least if they downscaled it, they maybe could have like leaned into that.
Can you tell what you're doing though? Like, is the game functional?
It's like all the same like actual like mechanical features, but just with downgraded graphics. Like, I don't know if you remember, they did the same thing, Holly, with Bloodborne. Someone actually made like a PS1 version of Bloodborne, same mechanics and everything. So yeah, so that's essentially what he's talking about, dumbing it down to potato mode.
All right. They probably should have did that instead of.
I would have loved that. That would have been great. That would have been great. So we've been playing that. And also Space Marine 2, we've been playing a lot. And you know what? That's actually one of the topics, so we'll talk about our thoughts on Space Marine 2. But before we get into that, guys, we're finally about to talk about the PlayStation 5 Pro.
Well, we didn't hear we didn't do what Assassin and DeMarco have been playing that's not Astrobot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been playing Crisis
Assassin...
2, really great. Real first-person shooter, and I've been playing Warhammer with you guys. There we go.
Wait,
let's get into the interesting stuff. I've been playing some Crisis 2. I skipped past Crisis 1 because I've done it multiple times. I love Crisis 1, but I like Crisis 2 so much better because the music was composed by Hans Zimmer, which a lot of people don't know, and it is one of the
I didn't know that
video game OSTs out there. It is like that main theme is just stellar. I'm not gonna hum it because it'll sound ridiculous, but it is so goddamn good. Hans Zimmer did the music for that game. It's stellar. Crisis 2 is an amazing story-driven first-person shooter. Hard to go into after playing the Call of Duty beta, for obvious reasons, just because the movement, like when you're just aiming and such like that, it's so incredibly tight and crisp. versus Crisis 2, which has some age to it. But for now, I highly recommend anybody play the Crisis. It goes on sale all the time. You could get all three games.
I just re-downloaded it. It's on Game Pass, I think.
It is on Game Pass too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just
I did that and then
that.
Warhammer with you guys. But 10 out of 10. Well, maybe not 10 out of 10, but highly
And I
recommend
apologize,
Crisis. Cannot recommend Crisis. And they're working on Crisis 4, so that's coming soon.
Oh.
Oh God,
Ish.
how are they gonna spin
Ish.
that? Because well, we don't talk about spoilers.
I know.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I love.
There's always
Crisis.
a way. There's always a way.
I
There's
love
always a way.
Crisis.
And Assassin. Yeah, I apologize, guys. I thought that was the Astrobot was
No,
what
no,
Assassin
no.
was playing.
No, let's get into. I want to get into the juicy stuff.
Assassin, have you been playing anything else other than Astrobot?
Yes, I have. Well, I started the Persona 3 episode, I guess, DLC last night, actually. It went live about 30 minutes early. Played about a good 2 hours of that. Also knocked out a couple more levels of Doom 2016. So, yeah, that's been great. Just mind-numbing, demon-killing fun. So, that's it. Aside from those two and Astrobot.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Also, Holly, I sent you on Twitter the example of the Skyrim downgrade mod,
Oh, goody. Okay, I'll go look at it.
so you can see what it's. I apologize, people on stream, you can't see it, but it's absolutely a doozy.
So, all right, so we're about to get into the PS5 Pro stuff. So, thank you all so much for being here. If you're new here, consider leaving a like at the least and a sub at the most. That would be so awesome. I really appreciate everyone being here. And real quick, Yadani Kazada with $2 super chat says, "Is this the episode where Special Nick lectures us? I wish. I'm gonna keep hammering Special Nick. Pause. Until he hammers me live on this stream, on this show, with his face. So that'll be clipped out, and that'll make sure he will never be on the show. Thank you so much, Yadani, for the $2. Oh, and Hargeet Chani, thank you so much. Hargeet Chani became a Renegade runner. Thank you so much, Hargeet. You became a channel member. I really, really appreciate it. The support means everything, especially right now, because I am going balls to the wall right now with YouTube content. I have like 3 videos in the works, because essentially right now YouTube is my full-time job until I can get things going. So hey, maybe I'll get lucky, but you guys make all the difference. The support is incredible, so thank you all so much. Another $5 super chat from Yadani. Thank you so much, bro. He says, so why does Ted, make other colored wolves change their name for imposing on his territory? Are all lupine demi-furries this territorial? So I think he's talking about last night. There was someone in Cold Eastwood's chat that showed up, and their name was Red Wolf 88, and I, as a moderator, I threatened to ban them. Not really. I just asked for their credentials and for their information, and they said, I'll do you one better. I'll just change my name. And I said, okay, thank you. And they actually changed the name, which was totally unnecessary. So anyway,
I'll have the chat know that when we were talking about continuing this podcast a year ago, Red wanted us to all include wolf in our names.
No, I did.
That
No, I did.
he wanted Holly to be that blue wolf. He wanted DeMarco to be DeMarco Wolf, and he wanted me to be Assassin Wolf Entertainment.
You're
Just
lying.
Wolf
putting that out
Assassin
there.
would be good, though.
That
Wolf
was his name.
Assassin.
His
That's
name
a
was
badass
Wolf
name.
Assassin.
The funny thing is, that was my name, but Wolf was pretty much a clan name, because, well, I was part of the Wolf clan.
I'm sorry,
For
you were part of
Steve.
what?
I was part of a
You
clan for Siege. What did you think I said?
Nothing.
The only clan I'll ever be a part of is Moo ?
New question mark? What?
What?
I guess we don't get that. Is that a deep cut?
I guess so, apparently.
All right, so
There's
hey.
no-
All
there's
right,
no-
take 2.
All right, let's try this again, and action. All right, we're live again. Okay, so PS5 Pro. Who all watched the Mark Cerny, which I thought it was pronounced like Sir-Nee, like SIRKNEEE with 3 E's, and I was wrong. That's not how you spell his name. But he did come out with his luscious golden locks today, and they gave a presentation of PS5 Pro. So, did anyone see this? Did anyone watch this? Okay, Holly, are you both?
I was at work.
The whole ding dang
Okay.
thing.
Okay, so
Whole 9 minutes.
there's so
Yep.
much to break apart and to tear apart and to build back up
Is
and look at it. Not really, but
Is there?
Not really. So what, the main thing that people
Well,
are.
there's quite a bit.
It's like you can kind of.
Not to Red, because, well, he hates PlayStation.
Shut up! I don't hate PlayStation. I don't.
Red, come on, Red. No.
I just
Let's
don't
stop
like the
cap.
controller.
All right, stop. Let's nip this in the bud.
Let
time.
Red get through the story. Let's let him get through the story.
Listen, okay. So real quick.
Whatever,
quick.
PC Master Race.
There we go. Oh my god. Assassin hates everything. He's just
About to
projecting.
be.
It's okay. He's okay. It's okay. It's about to be, yeah, because we're about to see how close. So the biggest thing that everyone is taking away from this. Sorry, real quick. I gotta grab this because I don't want to get too far behind on super chats. Thank you so much. Let's see. His name is I'm Free Bitch. AEC Vic, which I know what that means. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. He says, "Why does that guy look like the Master of Disguise? You mean Assassin? Yes. He could be anyone. He could be me.
No,
He could be
I
you.
don't think he's talking about me. I think he's talking about Mark Cerny.
No. Oh yeah, he does. He does look like what's the actor?
Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey. Yes.
Carvey.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
He looks like Garth from Wayne's World if he had like
Yes!
a slighter, like a little higher haircut.
Right, exactly, because his hair goes down. Yeah. That's a great super chat. Thank you so much for the support, you guys. I really appreciate it. It's hilarious. I didn't even think about that. Now I can't unsee it. I can only see Dana Carvey being like the PlayStation Pro, turtle. Anyway, so the PlayStation 5 Pro. So the biggest takeaway from all this online, everyone is yelling and screaming about, and rightfully so. This is a mid-gen console. Okay, this isn't a brand new next gen. This isn't the PS6. Okay, this is not the PlayStation 6. This is not the Xbox Series triple X or whatever. This is a mid-gen console, and it's $700 in the US, and it's near $1,000 in the UK. And on top of that, it does not come with a disk drive for whoever that affects. Doesn't affect everyone, but they are still selling a tertiary peripheral disk drive for what is it, $80?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
$780
for
It's
US.
the same one you could currently buy. Yeah.
Right. So they're saying that peripheral will work. Yeah.
The vertical stand is sold separately, which just
They're still doing that.
Again?
Ding,
My
ding,
mind.
ding.
Again?
That's
It
crazy.
still doesn't.
Christ.
That little piece of plastic. It is this
it can't
flippin'
cost
big.
them more
It is
than like
this
$1.25
They
to
put
make
it on a single You know they could make 1,000 of those in like 30 seconds. You stick it on one assembly line, and it costs them probably, because it's in some factory in China, it costs them like $7 to make 2 million of them.
Right.
Oh, doesn't that stand cost
How?
You pay for it.
Oh,
It's a-
do you not put that little stand in the box? Like, how? And it
Insanity.
looks it's the same ugly like menstrual pad that the original is. So, like, the first one you had to screw it in the bottom, or you turn it on its side and you had to do the thing where you screw it in from the side or whatever, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
how are you supposed to use this thing? Can it lay on its side without a stand now? I mean,
Yeah.
I would have just laid it on its side
Well,
anyway without
it always
stand,
has been
but
able
like,
to. Yeah.
well, but you were supposed to use the stand to lay it level, right?
Oh, yes. Yes,
Supposed to.
correct.
So can you do that with this without the probably $25 stand?
Right.
It
Yeah.
cost
And
them 30 cents to make.
right. Cold Eastwood says PlayStation gouging prices. Lovely. Yeah. Exactly. It's these little.
That's
I just
the most
have one
egregious
question.
part.
I just have one question, DL.
Yep.
Is it 2006 again? Because I swear to God, they announced the PS3 at $600.
Go
Now
get another job.
Now, oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that lovely article.
Yeah.
People will work overtime for our fucking costs.
Yeah,
Imagine
exactly.
they made that same comment today. That
Right.
would not go well either. 18 years later.
And for anyone who doesn't know, Assassin loves PlayStation, by the way. Assassin is our native PlayStation
No,
lover.
no. I don't love Sony.
Right,
I don't
but
love
you love the
Sony's
PlayStation
business practice.
platform.
I
Yeah,
do
that's
love the games.
Yeah.
I love the games, and I respect the developers behind them. That's it.
Yeah.
when it comes to Herman Hulse and the team up above, fuck y'all.
Up above.
Because $700 for this?
Yeah,
No.
All I meant, Assassin, is that you love PlayStation platform, but you are not biased to ignore these types of business practices. So I was talking
Exactly.
You up.
Yeah, so I love the games. I love the games from PlayStation. I love the games from Xbox. I love the games from Nintendo. But that does not mean I'm going to ignore the stupid business practices that these 3 publishers make.
Right.
What the fuck?
Right.
So,
Yeah, go ahead. What are your thoughts on this whole thing? As far as, especially price wise. So we're looking at like an $800 console if you want the full on thing, right? In the US.
Well, I was actually gonna go last because I'm pretty sure I have the most to say about this.
Okay, then that's fine. So DeMarco, you're leaning forward the most out of all of us. Yep. So go ahead, tell me, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Let me just really get. You see this?
There you see
go.
Do this for
right
the rest
now.
of the podcast.
Listen, I have a lot of thoughts on this. And Assassin, you and I are sort of locked on this eternal war of Xbox pulling away. And people are going to be like, you're bringing Xbox into this? Just sit
Here we
down,
go.
Calm down.
button up your pants, relax,
Here we
calm
go.
down. There'll be a point. We're sort of locked in this everlasting war of an unstoppable force meets an unmovable object about Xbox sort of bringing their exclusives to other platforms, or their exclusives, their first-party titles to other platforms. And one of the big comments that a lot of people make that I have disagreed with vehemently since day one is people saying, well, there's going to be no competition left because Xbox is going to pay. And I understand that people like that are not necessarily correct. And this is an exact example why. I think Sony today has proved to the entire industry that they do not care. And they are quite literally, I'm not going to say it's price gouging. I'm not going to be entirely hyperbolic like that. We love to exaggerate. We love to try to, make things as exaggerated as possible. But what I will say is anecdotally, the entire reaction that I've seen on Twitter was people basically saying this is outrageous. Some people are willing to trade in their current consoles to get the PS5 Pro, but $700 for this. $700. Well, and that makes sense, right? Because you're not at that point. You're just upgrading, and ideally, the trade-in rate for your console is fair. Will it be fair? We don't know yet, but ideally, it will be.
So GameStop, from where I am, it'll trade for $300 now. They updated it after the Pro was announced. It was originally $400. What?
Okay, so that's garbage. In my honest opinion, that's terrible and not worth the trade-in even, because here's the thing:
get $300 for a $500 console. That's a terrible trade.
I would stick. Yes, I would stick with the PS5. Like, why are you going to unnecessarily spend an additional? You get $300 back off of $700 if you're in the US, so you're still spending $400. Why would you spend $400 to get some frames and things that are 100 feet in the game away that you're not necessarily looking at to be a little bit sharper in detail? That's absolutely not worth it to me. There is nothing in this console that yelled to me, and that's great. They have better upscaling. They have nothing about the console in and of itself was bad. I want to make that perfectly clear. The AI upscaling, the better resolution, the better frame rates, right? All of that is great things for gamers. However, for the price point, this is an exact example where you have Microsoft, which is providing so many avenues of entry. You can stream games to your platform. You could buy the cheaper Xbox, or you can buy an Amazon Fire Stick. And this is a point that I know all four of us were at some point going to make. It's a point I've seen on Twitter. You can buy an Amazon Fire Stick, stream games if you have the internet, of course. The internet, the quality of internet that you need for it.
Today, just on that note real fast, it's probably not going to come up again. Xbox just announced today too that you don't even need the Fire Stick if you have a Fire TV. That today,
okay, so
Fire TV is going to have the actual app built into it.
And Samsung TVs. and Samsung TVs have it built in. So you already have so when people have been saying this entire time that Microsoft has been pushing these first-party games to other consoles, they're saying there's no competition. Exactly what I have been saying this entire time, that Sony is going to look at that and they're going to try to milk their market, and consumers are not going to go for it. Some will, because admittedly speaking, this console is going to appeal to the small market of people that are going to want the absolute highest fidelity. And as a PC player primarily, I get that. I splurged on my PC. I could have waited until now. People are building computers that are almost comparable to mine for half the cost that I paid. Half the cost, right? But so I splurged on mine apps. So I get the idea of people wanting to absolutely maximize what they can get out of their consoles. It's completely reasonable. But the end all be all is we're going to see Sony continue. They also simultaneously silently raise the price of their controllers. Coincidence? No.
In Japan.
So in Japan, thank you. So Sony is going to continue to push this bar. They're going to see how far they can get away with it, and eventually consumers are going to be allured by the cheaper alternatives that Microsoft is offering, or, and I'm absolutely biased, but I think there's a strong argument to be made here, and other people have been making this online, the better offerings that PC provides. Because you can absolutely buy a pre-built PC. I'm just going to say that you could buy a pre-built PC for, and I ran for years. I made content, I edited videos, I recorded footage on an HP Omen Obelisk. I don't know the quality of them now. At the time, it was perfect. It worked out of the box. There was no setup. It had a 2-year warranty. I had problems. I didn't know what was happening. I sent it in and they shipped it right back to me after they fixed the problems. Like, it was the most convenient possible thing in the world to own this pre-built PC. More convenient than the console in some ways. Maybe the console's more convenient because it's smaller, so I'll take that one. But you could buy a pre-built PC for a little bit higher price, and then you get the Xbox Store, the Steam Store, the Epic Store. You get all the individual little platforms. You get the benefit of not having to pay for online services. You also have things like PC Game Pass, which you don't get as many titles on PC Game Pass, but it is only $10 a month as opposed to what's normal Game Pass, $16 now? It's, there's you get GOG. GOG is a game platform that a lot of people don't talk about. I love GOG because all the games are DRM free. It's fantastic. And of course you get the functionality of a computer. And if you really you want to sit back on your couch, guess what? Or on your bed and play games, guess what? You can still hook your PC up to a TV and it works exactly the same way. So there's no reason to go out and buy this console. There's no reason to spend $500 for a slightly better frame rate. I'm going to shut up for probably most of the rest of the show, so I'm just getting it all out now.
No, good. Go keep going, bro.
But
you're making great points.
But
I love it when you get on a roll.
Yeah, I do too. It's like I'm like, please
I am
take,
on a roll.
take over. Yeah.
I am on a roll. So there's just nothing here that I see value. And again, I'm gonna wrap this all up. I know I'm reiterating, I know I'm regurgitating what I already said, but this is the exact example I was providing before when I said that there is still competition. People who are fans of Xbox, and I hate this stupid console war nonsense, but people who are going to sit back and defend Xbox thinking that they care about you, they don't. They care about you. Microsoft can easily retaliate with their infinitely cheaper cost of entry into their platform. That's where the competition lies, not from their first party exclusive titles. And to further that, you don't get more titles and more, like, you don't destroy exclusivity, which people don't like. Even the console people don't like it because they want to play games on any platform that they like. You don't destroy that by banking on more exclusives. That's not the solution. The solution is to break down walls, not put up more. This is a good entry to do that, especially if more people start to adopt PC or Xbox and stray away from PlayStation, assuming things like the PS6 follow suit with this quite frankly egregious price marketing. So I don't know what chat's saying. I don't have it pulled up. Let me know if any of this resonates with anybody out there, but that's my rant on all of this.
Chad is with you. And actually, Chad, if you could give me a number, 1 out of 10, I want to know 1 out of 10, how DeMarco how on point was he, and how great was his incredible rant with all the amazing information? I'm not even being hyperbolic, DeMarco. I do love whenever you go on rants like that, because
Elemental
you're
Hero
just too
does
smart.
bring up a good point, though, Red.
Yeah, go ahead, Assassin.
No, you read it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, field question. If someone's like, I disagree with this, I would love to talk about it too. So if someone's like, I
Marco is
vehemently
forgetting
oppose.
is nobody. But what Marco is forgetting is nobody wants to use the Fire Stick or Fire TVs. We're forgetting Amazon has new shows and movies, and people want to watch them and not tie up the two devices.
There we go. And I
think you're talking about. I think you're talking about a very small market there.
Well, yeah.
Personally, but what
yeah.
I'm saying is at that point again, the competition comes because you could buy a Series S, right? If you're looking like you can still stream games through their cloud services on the Series S. Am I mistaken on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can. Yep.
Yeah.
You can. So if you're still looking for a console to separate those two, you could still have an infinitely cheaper barrier of entry with the Series S console. Or again, if you don't want to mix it up, you get a Samsung TV and you get the Fire Stick. So then you have two separate devices right there, and you're getting a double whammy with that. So like, there's plenty of alternatives to it.
Right, and
I think it's more for casuals. Sorry.
For sure. And the thing is, like, whenever people talk about like accessibility and price versus, we're talking about a console that has a bit of an upgrade.
Can I just interrupt 1 second? I do see. I want people who have maybe not like interacted in chat before or are new to the show. One, welcome. Just want to say welcome to all of you. But two, I want to hear from you as well. Like, let us know if you disagree with anything. Argue. This is your chance to argue. I want to hear what you guys are saying about it.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you for saying that. Yeah, everyone in chat, and thank you so much for the ratings. You got like a 1,000 out of 10 is what you got, DeMarco. So everyone loves your points. Thank you to MASH. Thank you so much for becoming a Renegade runner. Part of the... Look at his face. Thank you so much, MASH, for becoming a channel member. I really, really appreciate that. If you guys want to become a channel member, it helps so much. It's absolutely incredible, the support that we've been getting lately. So you get early access to videos. After 2 months of becoming a channel member, you'll get access to the Discord to become tighter with the community, so we can all interact with each other. And things will upgrade and change as we go on. But thank you all so much. Sorry, right as I was thanking everyone. Sorry, that completely caught me off guard. Holy shit. While I'm thanking everyone, MASH and Yadani Gazada back to back as if they were pyramid high-fiving. Sorry, that's inappropriate. No one knows what I mean. Fist bumping like bros do. Thank you so much, Yadani Gazada, for gifting 5 channel memberships, and MASH for gifting 10 channel memberships. That is ridiculous. Thank you so much. I cannot express my thank. I can only thank so much, and that is, I've completely lost. No, I haven't lost my train of thought. I haven't lost it yet, but I just want to thank you both so much, Yadani Gazada and MASH, for doing that. Thank you all so much. I can only say it so many times. What am I supposed to do? Huh? What am I supposed to do? Fly to your house and kiss you?
Well,
I'll do it. Yeah. So anyway,
after all that we
I have no idea what you're singing, but I love it. I love it so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna go blow my nose because I'm crying on the inside from gratitude. So to your point, DeMarco, at this price point, the way that I look at gaming is, especially in an accessibility like viewpoint, I feel like people get really, really caught up in hardware whenever they've been happy the whole time, and then they see something that's slightly better. What I think about is the price difference from something that's better, like you said. So if you're already willing to spend $800 almost on a PlayStation, okay, let's look at what would you send to us early, Holly? A $1,300 build. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. Yeah.
So if you're willing to spend $800 on a PlayStation 5 Pro, so that's including the console, that's including the peripherals, so that's the stand and the disc drive or whatever. If you're willing to spend that much, let's just minus $800 from $1,300, $1,200, $1,000.
Well, and if you bought the PS5 already,
right? Exactly. How much of an
that's
upgrade?
$1,300.
Exactly. So we're looking at a $500 price point. So $500 price point for the PS5 Pro. How much do you guys think the price difference is? Is it $150? Is it $100 worth? So you've already spent $500 on your PlayStation 5. Are you willing to spend $300 more? You know, you've already spent like You've already spent $1,300 if you're already willing to spend that much. I don't know.
I mean,
yeah.
there's trade-in value, but unless you're giving me $400 plus for my PS5, my launch PS5, which you're probably not going to give me that at any store, then I'm not interested, right? Like,
yeah.
Me personally. And I would say, well, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's tough to say, because I was going to say I would say the same if Xbox did the same thing. And it's not my turn. And I'll wait till it's my turn to talk about my stuff.
No, you're already, go, do it. Let it flow.
So it is harder for me to say that about Xbox, but what I will say in general, just because I play on Xbox more often, but I have a nice PC. So now it is harder for me to justify that on Xbox, even though I do still prefer at this moment to play off my Xbox for the convenience, for the fact that everything's already downloaded there, you know, just simplicity's sake. But the more I use my PC for certain things to game on, the more easy, you know, like the easier it's becoming, instead of, well, I don't want to play on a PC because I want to go play on my Xbox and sit on the, you know, like anyway. But so this post that Kami put up on Twitter today, the $1,300 PC, he said you could do it for cheaper for a 1440p build, but he was trying to use new parts only, and he built the equivalency of what, you know, as close as possible, right, for what the PS5 is, PS5 Pro. So he said you get free online, so you're not paying that minimum $80 a year for the PS Plus membership. Free cloud saves, because that also doesn't come with PlayStation unless you have the online, right? Cheaper games, mods, free games, right? Because Epic is giving away games a lot. Yeah, mods. Typically,
and
PCs,
Epic. Holly, you and I just to, you know, you and I have complimented the Epic store, like, for all its faults. You actually get cash, like actual cash back when you buy through the Epic store. So that in and of itself, and sometimes it's like what, 10-15% cash back when you buy any game. So that's a great incentive in and of itself. But please continue.
No, it is, and please don't give me Steam points.
Yeah.
I could give an ever-loving bones about Steam points.
No,
give
I don't
me
want your
actual
stupid
cash
sticker
back,
Steam.
like Epic did. Yeah. So there's, plus you get the higher fidelity and the consistent frame rates on a PC. That even though the Pro is saying, you know, that's going to play at 4K 60, almost every game they showed, if not every game they showed, are remasters of PS4 games. So stop, like, show me something new. And I saw today that Gran Turismo is supposed to be running super high, like, but they didn't talk about that.
But that's a racing game.
Yeah,
it is.
It's
there's
so
like a lot of
contained.
limitations.
It's so.
Yes, that's literally what I was
They've
gonna say.
always looked good.
But it's a PS5 game, is my point, right? Like,
Right.
it's not about what the actual game is.
No.
It's about, you know, but racing games are always usually very high end, right? You get PC Game Pass on Xbox on your PC for free for 14 days or a month or whatever, right? If you want, which I don't know why he put that in there. You get DLSS with frame gen. You get the ability to customize and tweak your settings a little more in depth if that's something that you choose to do. You can upgrade this PC over time, part by part, as you need to, instead of needing to just, you know, chuck it all and start over. Not as simple as it sounds, but it is something that is technically possible. So that was just the list of points that he made for the fact that a $1,300 PC is probably, and $1,300 PCs, I mean, that's mid-range. That's not bottom of the barrel. You know, like, there are gaming PCs that are lesser than that. So that's just a thought. But you know, PC gaming comes with things that people don't want to do, and I get that. My reminder is, every single time that I look at making a purchase, and I don't care what it is, PC, if it's furniture, if it's whatever, anything more than your daily staples. In my state, you have to add, when you're calculating how much money do I need for this, add 10% for tax, right? So it's always about,
Right.
oh, well, it's $6.99. No, it's really $800 by the time you add tax. You know, it's a little short of $800, but it's really just $800 just for this.
Oh, you
Right.
want that protection plan on it too? Ooh.
What?
You want the
Your
vertical
protection
stand?
plan?
It's for sure $800.
You
then,
want the
right?
vertical stand?
With the,
You want an extra controller?
and we haven't even bought
Extra control.
the disc drive yet. You know, at
Which extra controller? Great point, Assassin, because I know for a fact the PlayStation controllers battery is.
They don't last.
I mean, I feel like
They-
this is
they're
most
dog
controllers,
water.
but the batteries you gotta either have it plugged in when you're
So
using it,
bad.
or you want probably the second.
Yeah.
If you think that
it's
it's
so
just going to be just the PlayStation 5 Pro, if you even wanted this, that's another $80. If you want a spare controller, that's another $70, $80. If you want a headset as well, that's another $100+.
Or the earbuds, right? Like they have the
Exactly.
earbuds, which
Or the
actually I like
remote,
the idea of the
PlayStation
earbuds. I think
camera.
that's really nice.
The earbuds, the camera, the remote. Yeah.
But my point, yeah. So here's like, and the other thing I have that
So-
I really like, the Pro or mid-gen refresh idea was valuable, I think, in the last generation. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of things happening.
Well, the last
right?
generation
And
of
there was-
consoles launched really weak.
right.
They were
And so
really
it
underpowered
it made
when they
sense.
launched. Yeah.
This generation, for either side, zero reason for this to occur, in my opinion. Like I don't get it. I'm totally at a loss for this. And then
It'll always baffle me when publishers say, "Well, we gotta make up and we gotta make more money because it's more expensive to make games." Yeah, it was expensive back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, but the industry has changed so much since then. Case in point, microtransactions have become much more the norm. Battle passes, season passes, yearly expansions that cost money. You can't tell me that you're nickel and diming us already. You can make that console.
Games cost
$500
$100 now.
You can.
I'm sorry,
make that
games
console.
cost $100 now.
and then if we just bring it back to the fact that it's $700 in the US, in British pounds, it's 700 British pounds, which transfers to 915 US dollars. In the EU, it's 800 euros, which does translate to around 700-ish are in US. So like and in Australia it's $1,100 without the, you know, this is just the base without any of the attachments, and people might already have the attachments, so for them it might just be that upgrade. But like, I bought the base PS5 with the disc drive, so I can't upgrade without like here we go, I can't upgrade and play Astrobot anymore unless I buy the disc drive, right? It's I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
100%.
I feel like they're reaching.
This is they've missed the mark completely. They've completely misread the room. They've missed the mark.
And I would say, like, as far as the topic goes about accessibility with gaming in general, like, we're looking at Microsoft as PC centric right now. So you are still going to be in the ecosystem with PC Game Pass as well. So I'm sort of going back to talking about the price point. With all that, with having all that set, you guys, you know, if you just look at it in terms of, like, if you take away all your pride and all of your brand loyalty and everything, if you look at the comparison of how expensive these consoles are getting, and then you look at PC entry-level PCs, like the $1,000 PCs or $1,200 PCs, essentially, if that's the type of gamer that you are, you're not trying to push everything to the limits, because essentially what you have with $1,000 PC might be what you get on a Series X or a PS5 anyway. So, having said that, you would also have PC Game Pass, and you would also have, you know, cloud saves and everything that everyone just talked about anyway. So, unless it's about your brand loyalty, I would say that you are 100% saving so much money just by going to PC at this point, if you're not already on the Xbox Microsoft PC
And
platform.
And I wanna on that too. I just wanna point out, like, I've seen some really brain dead takes around some of this as well, where I've seen people online mentioning how, oh, I built this PC with a 4070 and it costs this much, which is comparable to a PS5 Pro or a PS5. That is, or a PS5. That is completely and utterly wrong. You are not having to choose between fidelity modes and performance modes if you're working with an RTX 4070. I'm sorry, you're not. You are absolutely not. You are
You get it all.
at the base 1080p. You're getting consistent 60 frames per second. You don't need to compromise, and you can turn on things with that console, with that graphics card. You're able to, and the argument made, just for context, because I realized I missed this, the argument made was, well, the RTX 4070 costs like the same amount as the PS5 Pro, and you blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it's not. They're saying that the performance is comparable to the base PS5. That's not at all the case. So just be aware. The reason I bring this up is just be aware when you're looking at Twitter, people are making these kinds of claims. A lot of them do not know what they're talking about. Hence the nature of Twitter, where it's a lot of engagement farming, and it's a lot of rage bait,
A lot of
and
bandwagoning.
just lots of bandwagoning and echo chambers. So just be aware of that when you're seeing people's takes online. This is just your daily reminder to not be a sheep and think for yourself
Be a wolf.
a little bit, and be a wolf, be a red wolf.
Hey.
So, there you go. Just keep that in mind. That goes with anything. Even with when you hear people giving their takes, you might love the PS5 Pro. You might think it's perfect. Exactly. You still don't have to buy the big bulky PC. You get the $700. You know what? Happy for you. Vault style, great for you. Shut out the noise, but don't try to go out and shout to the rooftops that everyone else is wrong for not liking the PS5 Pro. Just because you like it either. Goes both ways.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to
Just like the Portal, right? I see zero reason for the Portal, but I'm not the target audience. I think it's kind of a silly little device, but I'm
Well,
not
to
the
be
target
fair, the
audience.
target
And if it
audience
works for
is
you,
fan-
that is fantastic. Well, that's another thing that I was going to bring up too. But if it works for you, that's fantastic, right? Nobody should shame somebody else for having something that works for them. They make these things for a reason. They've tested and they know marketing and they know their audience enough. They said 75% of people who play on their PS5 choose performance over quality mode every time. So for them, that was important, right? To then kick it up a notch to try to get to 60, right? So I'm one of those weird weirdos that doesn't necessarily care as much about frames, except for like
Same.
Call of Duty.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
So that doesn't bother me like at all, right? For the most part. I obviously there's times when I see issues and things like that, but
Yeah.
Right.
I had the same thing. I mean, I love 30 frames for a lot of the types of games that I play, I guess, like third-person RPGs. And whenever I play Call of Duty, like Holly said, like a first-person shooter, I actually do prefer the 30 frames. I tried to play Stalker Trilogy that just got, remastered and ported over to consoles. Tried to play that on 30 frames. No, I couldn't do it. I had to go to performance mode. So there is a difference there, and so it's really all about accessibility. A lot of people have to just sort of recognize that their pride might be holding them back from a better experience, and at the end of the day, after at least 2 years of you gaming on a new console, you could have had a better experience if you would have, the amount of money, especially for the price point, for the amount of money that you could have that you could have saved and spent on something that was better, and you could have everything there. All your PlayStation games, all your Xbox games, and whatever all in one place. And I say unfortunately, I'm only saying unfortunately, this is sort of where the market is going, and people talk about consoles are going away. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but I do think that as far as console hardware, the price point is going to be comparable. I mean, it already is. Like, we are seeing it right now today. Today is the day where we're looking. Today is the great. We're seeing an $800 console essentially, and now you can compare it. You could have bought a PC that runs infinitely better just for $200 more. So how much money are you willing to spend? Assassin, do you have any other thoughts on this? Everything? About everything? Life?
On the PS5 Pro?
Or just like your favorite type of sandwich. Do you
What
prefer
I'm
turkey?
actually,
Damn.
what I'm most curious, Assassin, I want to hear your takes. I absolutely want to hear your takes, but I also want to hear if you have any
No, you don't.
contradictions to anything. No, come on. Come on,
Are you ready?
Assassin.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
Unleash.
I want to hear your. I do. I want to hear your takes, but I also want to hear specifically because we've obviously been pretty detailed and extensive about it, and I think that we've covered most of the main things. So what I'm mainly curious is to hear any contradictions that you have to anything that we, as the panel, have said so far. Is
Indeed.
where my personal interest is.
As far
any.
as
Maybe you don't have any.
contradictions, I don't disagree with y'all. The PlayStation 5 Pro, is it necessary? Absolutely not. I do agree with you guys that maybe mid-gen consoles is not necessarily a necessity at this point. I did buy the PlayStation 5 at launch, so it's been 4 years for me. So it makes sense for me to upgrade to the Pro. I don't really care about the specifics. I just care about, getting the new thing. But at the same time, you guys brought up the whole, well, if you're going to spend that much for a PC, for a PlayStation 5 Pro, why don't you just go all the way for a PC? Maybe it's because they don't want to spend another $500 in general. Maybe it's because they just don't want to. You also have to consider that for PC players, you have to be very specific about the parts that you're getting. You have to be more aware of your PC. With console, you just play the game. You don't worry about what may or may go wrong in your console. You don't do that. And if something does go wrong, you just go to Best Buy or GameStop and you get a replacement, or they just get you a new one. That's the convenience.
I would counter. I would counter that. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I really don't. But I would counter that by saying again, going anecdotally back to like I rocked with an HP Omen Obelisk PC tower for 5+ years, and it could have extended that longer. I voluntarily chose to upgrade to get the latest hardware because I had the money and the resources to do so. But that thing was phenomenal. Their customer service was exceptional. I mailed it to them. It cost me nothing when I needed fixes. So in regards to a lot of that, and I didn't have to do anything like worrying about the specs and worrying about this. I just knew that it was a more modern PC. I knew roughly, I had no concept of graphics cards. I knew roughly that this was a modern graphics card. And that was all it really took. So I think even for the average consumer, buying a pre-built is very, very accessible these days. And often it's actually a lot cheaper, especially when you factor in things like the warranty.
Hargate sent me a message with a $850 Lenovo gaming PC with a 4060 in it. That's available right
There
now.
you go. Exactly.
wild.
So that
$850.
you can play out the box. It'll have Windows on it. It'll be ready to go. Yeah, okay, you need to install Steam and you need to install Epic and like, yes. So if installing things on your computer is hard to do, but we're gamers, we can figure it out. So that would be my only kind of but my only rebuttal to that part of it, like that ease of use. I think that PC gaming is more user friendly than it's ever been, personally. But please do, like, I'm sorry again for interrupting.
Yeah, go ahead, Assassin.
Well, okay, well, another thing that you guys completely forgot to mention is the convenience. For one, it's almost the holiday season, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How do
I
you
think I
think
know where you're going with this.
when little Timmy wants to play Call of Duty and FIFA and Madden with
Mhm.
his friends, is he going to convince his parents to get a $1,400 PC? Or is he going to try and convince them to get the $700 PS5 Pro
And
or
my
the
parents were
$500
gonna
normal
spend
one?
$700 just on a gaming console, let alone
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's
or
not
or
gonna happen.
I think
the $300 Series S.
Right. Yep.
Exactly.
Well, could be 150.
Exactly.
We've seen
Well,
like
it could
when
just
sales.
be the TV for the bedroom that's a Fire TV.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But
Not
the thing is,
all casual gamers want a PC. They
Exactly.
want the convenience of a
Exactly.
console. That's
Exactly.
why, as much as you guys want PC Master Race, that's not going to happen. And plus, you also have to remember, we are privileged to live in a first world country. Or I think, is it first world or third? I don't remember. Well, let's just say that we're privileged to
Depends on
live
the
where
day.
we are. Yeah, depends on the day. But the fact of the matter is, we have the resources and the jobs to afford these things. You also have to consider that Microsoft and Sony are trying to expand into new markets. They can't do that if they put their prices at this, or their consoles at this price. That's not going to happen. You're not going to grow an audience by putting your consoles at this price. What Sony should have done was put the PlayStation 5 launch, quote unquote, for the past 4-year launch console. They should have bumped that down as normal, and maybe put the PS5 Pro at maybe like 600, and include the damn disk drive, for fuck's sake.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, on a
that
Pro
is the
model,
most
that's weird.
stupidest thing. That is the most stupidest thing, and even the most expensive Series X that's going to launch this holiday, the Galaxy 2 terabyte, comes with the disk drive installed, and it's $100
Oh, yeah.
cheaper. $150, $180
And it's
to
prettier.
$200 cheaper because it comes with the disk drive.
Right. Right.
Not to mention their controllers are $10 less than the PlayStation 5 controller. I guarantee you,
And they last
when
twice
this
as long.
holiday comes through, people are going to start looking at Xbox a lot more. I do agree with DeMarco on that. They're going to start looking at more convenience. Microsoft has made it a lot more accessible to jump into their ecosystem, regardless if I think their exclusives going over to PlayStation has kind of caused this crisis. A little bit. You can't tell me that they didn't know. They've had 4 to 6 months. They knew that Phil Spencer and the Xbox team, they're going to launch more games on PlayStation, so what's the point? They're going to put their games on our console. Well, we might also just stop it a little bit. But anyway, Call of Duty on Xbox Game Pass with the Series S, maybe EA College Football that launched in July. Maybe it's on the service by that point. Who knows? $350 plus Game Pass subscription, so around $400, $450, right? You get those two games to the casuals.
$350?
Or-
Sorry, what was $350 for?
The Series S.
Oh no, you can get them for $250, sometimes even $200.
That's what I was saying.
Oh,
like, you
wait,
can get
oh,
like
wait,
150
wait.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the Series S 1 terabyte. I wasn't thinking about the normal one.
Okay.
But anyway.
Oh yeah, you can't even order that anymore. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway.
Mhm.
$450 for all that, right? For COD, the Series S, Game Pass, whatever other games you may or may not pick up for the holidays, or the PlayStation 5, the normal one, which is still $500. You still got to pay for COD. So, which one do you think that consumers are going to buy this holiday?
And if it were me and it were my kid, I would look at the price of a Fire TV, and I would look at their current TV and be like, it's cheaper for me to buy them just a new TV and a controller and repurpose the other TV, or if they don't even have a TV in their bedroom.
I
all
don't think that's
one
going to
now.
happen for a few years, Holly. Microsoft is not even advertising that as much.
They just
At
put it
all.
out today. They just released on Fire TVs, so you don't need the stick. Like, it's the inbuilt.
One tweet.
Oh, like an app.
One tweet is not going to reach millions of people. That's not going to do it. Microsoft has got to get aggressive with their marketing, and they've been baby stepping it the whole gen.
and that is like that's
But
like the
this is
biggest
so-
issue
so-
with Microsoft
so
in
they-
general.
That's
is
a different
marketing.
topic.
It's a whole, it's a
Biggest-
whole
They
other
have
thing.
they
Biggest
have a
problem,
perfect
besides
they have a
delivering
perfect
quality, is their
opportunity
marketing.
though.
Well, hang on.
But will
They have a
Microsoft
perfect
take?
opportunity though now to branch. A lot of people underestimate the value of some of these shows. When, for example, like PlayStation just put on a 9-minute showcase where they revealed the PS5 Pro. Now, we don't know the numbers of the amount of people that tuned into this, nor will we ever know the reach that it has had, as people like Jeff Keighley are now tweeting about the PS5 Pro incessantly. And
14 times today. 14 times. He tweeted
14
about,
times,
yes.
14 tweets from Jeff Keighley. And the thing about, like, I know people are using that as a method to attack Jeff Keighley. I just kind of personally see it as engagement farming, which is the nature of Twitter these days. So I actually don't blame him. I blame the platform, personally.
To be fair, Jeff kind of does make it
people
easy,
might-
though. He does promote more PlayStation than Xbox, I have noticed. I will give
I'm
people
not
that.
getting in.
Have you just noticed?
I'm not getting into that debate. I don't pay attention enough to
It's
Jeff
not a
Keighley to confirm or deny. But what I will say, so we don't know the total amount of
you totally.
impressions, right? That and this is my marketing brain. I work at a marketing agency. This is my marketing brain. We don't know the total reach, the total amount of impressions, and these things are usually viewed by views per million, which is iconically the same way that YouTube does some of their ad revenue measurements. So when these companies like Microsoft put on these showcases, again, this was 9 minutes. They had Mike Cerny sit, talk in front of a camera, and they had some fancy animations for a little bit, and then they had somebody record some gameplay from a couple games. Like, it was not that much. And this is reaching millions upon millions of people. So if for a second you think that Microsoft cannot leverage, when and if they are ready to reveal sometime soon the Xbox handheld that is confirmed to be coming, that they can use that as an opportunity to say, here's the handheld, here's the price point, which they could absolutely undercut Sony with the price point. Here is also, look at all these other places that Xbox is available. We have it on the Fire Stick, right? And it might seem like they're just kind of shoehorning it in there. They're just kind of cramming it in the background. But that is still, because of course the focus is going to be on the handheld at that point. And I'm just using this as an example. But that is still going to reach millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of people. So Microsoft has an opportunity. Whether or not they'll leverage it is yet to be seen. But I would expect...
I don't think they will.
Wow.
I would expect that in some capacity, the idea is if they don't put a lot of money behind it, this is the other side to it. If they don't put a lot of money behind it, the thing is, you are not the target audience. I am not the target audience. Remarketing in 2024 has become so powerful that they can super geographically reach the consumers that they want to, whether they're doing it on social media or if they're doing it through other things like Spotify, for example, where there's actual paid media spend. So these things can become so hyper targeted that they're reaching the people that they want to reach, even if it's not you necessarily. And if they want to push out the Amazon Fire Stick, it can absolutely be done. And what I will say is that Microsoft, even though they're going to market what they think they can get an ROI out of this product. Maybe that seems a little bit low to most of us. If they're going to spend, let's just hypothetically say $1 million to market this Fire Stick, that might seem low in comparison, but that is targeting the audience that they want to target to make the ROI that they're looking to make on it. And that is arguably more effective marketing than if you, as someone who is an avid gamer, who owns multiple consoles, who is already aware, who has a gaming channel, that's much more valuable to reach those people than to reach you, which is a sign of good marketing, not bad marketing.
So,
And-
in your opinion,
and for
do you
them-
think that word of mouth is the most powerful form of marketing, or not?
Yeah, I would say word of mouth is, because you keep in mind the current climate of marketing in 2024, right? Marketing is largely done, like, there's such a massive influence that's put on, there's such a massive weight that's put on influencers, excuse me. There's such a massive weight put on influencers because it informs, I'm gonna make up this number, but I believe it's over 45% of people's purchasing decisions this year. So when you couple that fact, which you can do the paid advertising, right? You could have people who go out there, not necessarily Microsoft is going to do this, but they could pay influencers to say, hey, I'm playing Xbox on the Microsoft Fire Stick. pay that guy a lot of money, and then boom, you're reaching millions of people. But even the folks such as us sitting on this podcast that are sitting here saying, hey, Sony has this $700 option to get high fidelity, or if you have good internet, you could stream with a Fire Stick. Like, that is free marketing for them. So 1,000% when over, I do want to say, and somebody please, if you're watching this stream, fact check me on this. It's super simple. Do a Google search, like percentage of people influenced or make purchasing decisions by influencers. Find that exact number, but I believe it's over 40% or like 30%. So yes, word of mouth, if you consider the fact that we are freely marketing their products by talking about it, we're not getting paid to do so. That word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertising. And on top of that, even if you include statistics that are out publicly available by companies that have done these studies that showcase how much people are likely to make a purchasing decision based on if they saw an ad for it, if they heard their friend or family member talk about it, if they had an influencer talk about it, right? All these are percentages. So if you mix influencers with heard from friends or family, you're getting what I would argue is probably the large majority of people making purchasing decisions.
Here's the biggest point about the Fire Stick too. Even if you don't see lots of marketing, think about this.
Oh my god.
Xbox had to create zero hardware for this endeavor. It is all a software thing for them, and they are a software company, right? It is all back-end stuff that I just saw gases.
I know. I was like, yes. What the fuck? Go ahead. Don't lose your train of thought.
It's all back-end work for employees that they're paying anyway. So if they get 50 people to sign up for this thing, it's a win, right? For them as far as financials, right? It's no big deal for them on how little or big it gets.
As long as they hit their numbers.
That and therein lies.
The numbers is we want 1 million and they only get 50,000.
Right.
But they spent no money on it except employee time, which they were paying anyway. So it's all literally a win for them on that point.
And do
right?
You mean...
They're not subsidizing costs for a stick, because the Amazon Fire Stick is already a thing and it's already there. It's an app for the TV, it's an app for the stick. They have subsidized nothing except employee time, which they're already paying for. So, or the marketing, right? That might be the only thing. So it's not a big deal.
And real quick, I just want to shout out Gaz popped his Renegade cherry tonight. He's here in the chat. Gaz Septic Sauce, thank you so much for being here, dude. When I saw you, I was like, ooh, brother, ooh. Yeah, I really appreciate you showing up, Gaz. You're a legend. You're a legend in the space.
I like the description that Lotus gave of our podcast. This is a super fun, safe place. Like, this podcast is not like fanboyish to like a particular console or even PC, as much as DeMarco wants it to be. So yeah, it's a fun place. It's a fun, safe place for all gamers.
I appreciate
Lotus
that.
said that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry. I've been wanting to get back to chat. I've not been. We just had this discussion has just rolled hard, and I really appreciate you guys sticking around. We got over 40 people here with us hanging out. I wanted to grab some of the chat here because you don't have to super chat just to be called out, but I did see some things that I wanted to shout out here and I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second to find it here. I know it was actually Lotus Esprit. He was talking about the price. They said that they bought a PlayStation 5 for $350. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lotus. There it is. I got a PS5 Slim for $350 on holiday sale. Keeping it forever for my husband. Yeah, so there are deals in terms of accessibility and price points. Like, there's always a way to get into gaming, and I feel like a lot of the people in our space, like, we're so hardcore focused on the brand identity and the brand loyalty and whatever, that we sort of like lose sight of what's really accessible, what's really important. Our money, we work for this. Like, how many hours out of the week do you think that you worked for your current console? Just think about that. Did you work 2 whole weeks to get that? Was it worth it? Yeah, it's really important to think of it that way. FarQ says between Epic Games and Amazon Prime getting peaks. I'm so sorry. Between Epic Games and Amazon Prime gaming peaks, I think you meant perks. I have nearly 400 free games on my Epic account, and I haven't spent a penny. That's exactly my point. Let's see. Oh, go back down here. I wanted to get Mash. Mash was. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to. I've been trying to hold everything. Mash was saying it can be worse in Canada. You were stuck either way, and Canadian geese to cross the road, delaying traffic, or a bunch of pigeons who have zero understanding of personal space, which really I think is why Xbox is failing right now, because of the geese crossing the road. Let's see, go back down here. And thank you all so much for being here. If you're new here, consider, subscribing. At least drop a like for us. That would be amazing. Amazing. Pico Trek says, I'm not buying a PS5 Pro. Yeah, there you go. Pico Trek, I'm interested. Do you already have a PS5?
I don't think a lot of people are.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna be honest, Red. I don't think a lot of. If you're going to consider getting a PlayStation, you're not going to get the Pro. You're just going to get the normal PlayStation one, which will probably be $100 cheaper for the holidays, if I'm being honest. And even then, if you don't want to spend that much money, just get the Series S. If you're just playing Call of Duty and FIFA and just the normal every yearly release, just get the Series S for convenience. That's
right.
Really all it is.
Hey, Holly?
One more thing on DeMarco's points too, sorry, is just this, like, to your point about the Xbox handheld, man, if they don't get that thing out before the PS Vita 2 launches.
Oh man.
They don't announce, at least announce it and have it out before they announce the PS Vita 2.
Mm-hmm.
Man. And it better be better than like the Portal. And then I want to know from the Portal owners, like, are you mad that you bought that when they're gonna have a Vita 2 coming out just shortly after that, right? Which you don't have to be tethered. You'll be able to download all your stuff. You'll be able to play. It's supposed to be more powerful than a PS4.
Someone's knocking on my door. I'm sorry. Continue.
I really hope that they get that announced and that it is equivalent or better to what this PS Vita 2 is supposed to be.
I'm going to be completely honest, and I'm going to be very wrong. I think. I know I'm going to be wrong, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I honestly think that Microsoft is probably second-guessing their handheld after the PS Portal. I'm just going to say that. They launched the Vita years ago.
No.
It did not work very well.
But that was a different time. We're in the time of Steam Deck, Rogue Allies, MS.
I know
Allies.
that.
Different.
So tell me, why is the Steam Deck and the Nintendo Switch succeeding and not the Portal? What is different?
Because the Portal you need to be
Portal
connected
sells
to
out
your
all the time.
because you need to be connected to your console. Like, it's not a proper handheld. It's just it's like, hey, I'm gonna and think of like where most console players are gonna be playing games. It's gonna be in their living room or in their bedroom, and so it's like, okay, if you have a console in one of those two rooms, great, I can play in the other now. What is the convenience of that? It's non-existent in my honest
That's
opinion.
exactly my point. How are you going to play native Xbox games on a handheld? And even then, they want to put Game Pass on the handheld.
The same way you do it on the Valve. I don't understand the question.
Yeah, I don't get it. What do you mean? It'll be the exact same thing as what the Vita is going to be. And like the old
Yeah,
Vita,
it's the same way. You could take the Valve, you could bring it to hotels. You don't have to bring your whole console. Just bring your Valve. Bring it on the train. Bring it on a plane. Bring it on a cow. Bring it on a train. It's a train.
It's just like how I have an X in my living room, and I have an S in my bedroom, and I pick up the X, I toss the S in my luggage when I go somewhere, and I plug it into the TV at the hotel. It's the exact same thing. It's just portable, and
why
it doesn't
didn't Sony do it?
They are. There's a heavily leaked rumor that they have asked, or they are getting AMD. They asked AMD to provide GPUs with 2 teraflops, surpassing the PS4 in power for the PS Vita 2.
So it's just gonna link our PlayStation accounts if we buy it.
If that's
On the
true, if the
PlayStation?
rumor's true. But
Okay, so
The source is
me
fairly
being a
reliable.
physical media player, right? Let's say that I want to play God of War, Ragnarok on the go, right?
well, physical's different,
So
right?
exactly. So there's no point. If I'm a physical
Well,
owner, how am
you're
I
not
going to
the-
be playing
you're
God
not-
of War Ragnarok natively on the
You're
go?
not the target audience. You're
you'll
not
buy the
target.
digital
You
copy?
won't be because yeah, you won't be because they're not trying to sell it to you. Like you exclusively buy. The thing is, you know, there's gonna be some, and it's very very small. There's gonna be some overlap with people who are saying, oh, I'll buy it physical and then I'll also buy the digital version so I have it on the go. The reality is, you're in the minority. I'm sorry to say. But you're in the minority. Most people buy digital. That's the reason why the PS5 Pro is only releasing with the digital version. They're not coming with the physical one. They didn't even announce, like, it would have been different if they announced a bundle that came with the disc drive. They didn't even do that, right? So what's a disc, says Pico Trek. Exactly. So most people are not buying physical. I applaud you for standing that ground because I think the death of physical media is a horrifying prospect as someone who buys everything digitally. But it's like, I don't know. I would say it's just the modern convenience. Like, you're traveling, especially for that target demographic that's traveling, which is really who these mobile platforms apply to. You're not looking for, like, I don't want to be carrying around 5 different Game Boy cartridges or like the Nintendo DS slits to like plug into my DS because I could lose them, they could get broken or damaged or whatever, right? I just want to be able to play it on the go. So you're buying digital.
I just wanted to let
Grandma.
everyone know that I just had an incredibly nice dude named Trip knock on my door just now to let me know that my Subaru hatch has been open this entire time for like hours and hours.
damn.
And he wanted
You
to let
mean
me
your
know.
Ford Ranger pickup bed?
That's what I meant. My Ford Ranger pickup bed, yeah. And he said, just so you know, man, I took everything out of your car, so you don't have to worry about that anymore, but I'll shut the door for you. And I said, thanks so much. No, not really, but...
It's in my house now. The house is locked. I'm not
Yeah.
telling you where it is.
it's not
It's
in
a
my
pawn
house. I sold
shop.
it.
It'll cost you about $450 to get it back.
So I'm just letting you know, man. And I said, bro, I got you. And I gave him a fist bump, and he went on his merry way. But that was that. No, seriously, that was really nice of him. He said, you want me to shut it for you? And I said, yes. And I wanted to like give him something, give him a hug or something. So, but I did kiss him on the forehead. I said, close your eyes, and he went. And I went. But anyway, yeah. So, wow, PS5 Pro chat. How about that? How about that thing that just happened out of nowhere? Oh man. Oh, Gaz. I was gonna ask Gaz. He's probably not here anymore. I wanted to ask his thoughts, but it's probably way too much to type. Maybe one day we'll get Gaz on since he's existing in the Renegade realm. But you know, that's just how things go. Just networking and meeting people. Thank you all so much
I
for
don't
being
think
here
we
with us
can-
tonight. Okay, yeah.
I was gonna say I don't think we can take Gaz's soundboard for too long.
No,
That
I
may be
want,
you, Red,
I
but-
need all of it. I need all of Gaz in one.
I know that, but he'd be making jokes and we would never get to the topics.
Oh,
We'd be
no.
laughing too much.
That's what I love. I'm telling you right now. I've said it for like over a year now. I told Colt, I said, if you get me, you, and Gaz on a podcast, and Colt's like, nothing would get done. And I'm like, yes, that's the point. That would be so good. Can you imagine me, Mag, Gaz, Colt? Amazing. It'd be awful. But yeah, thank you to
Oh,
everyone.
we can imagine it. That's why we're awfully quiet.
Yeah, we're just like, eee.
Okay, Okay, the Elemental Hero in the chat, he's
Oh, yeah.
RGT85 brought up interesting points about physical media when he did his proof on Video Game Crash was here. I'm actually gonna take a look at that, to be honest. I've been curious about it for a while. What
Let's see.
points did he make?
I don't know what
didn't
his-
think-
He says,
I don't know what is
disagree
proof.
with
What
Diamarco."
is proof video? What is proof video game crash was
Let's see,
here?
brought up interesting
He-
points
he-
about physical
he
media
said-
when he did on.
He made a video a couple
Um,
days ago that said that the video game market crash was here. I didn't click on it, but I knew
It's
I knew it was
not.
going
That's.
to.
I'm sure. Look, you can, when you're looking at red cars, you're gonna see a lot of red cars, right? The video game crash is not here. I think the video game, and it depends on the context of his video, right? The one thing I could say is there's certain elements to the video game industry that are transitioning, not crashing, because these companies are
crash,
making record
just not
profits. You
now.
can no, well, it's not. I wouldn't even say it's necessarily going to crash. It's like saying the housing market is going to crash. It's like there's a lot of people like, oh, housing market's going to crash. Like it's really not, because the Fed doesn't want that to happen, and there's a whole other context to that there that I'm not going to dive into because that's politics. We don't want to bring that into here. But
Oh yeah, please
the
don't.
video game crashes here. No, I'm not going to. But the video game crashes here. You're seeing a transition, right? These companies are making record profits, but you're also seeing the resurgence of a lot of indie studios. These companies are making games on much smaller budgets. They're making it with teams that are much smaller people, and it's not going to be a crash. It's going to be a transition. And honestly, that transition can go one of two ways. That transition can go one of two ways. It can be a renaissance of sorts, which is what I personally think it's going to be. But you don't, like, there's an expression like after the plague comes a renaissance, right? But I don't necessarily think, you know, you need, if we're alluding the plague to be the crash, you don't necessarily need that to happen to have this resurgence of popularity, right? Gaming is at its most popular. That's just put this into perspective. If you want to say the video game market is crashing, look at the fact that we have some of the most successful TV and other media is based on video games. Arcane, right? Arcane is one of the best TV shows available. The Witcher anime. Like, if you haven't seen the initial Witcher prequel that focuses on Vesemir, you have the new one that was just announced at Gamescom. I can't remember the name of it, but that's taking multiple different IPs, including Concord, which obviously didn't last very long, but including Concord is supposedly a part of that. Yes, so you have the Last of Us TV show, which I thought was mixed. You have the Fallout TV show. So the fact that gaming is existing in all these other mediums because it is that popular is the argument that I would say if you want to try to say, oh, well, the gaming market's crashing. No, it's not. And yes, you have flops in there like the Borderlands movie, which was, but that's not necessarily the rule. And so there's things that we don't like seeing. I hate seeing the layoffs. I hate seeing these studios, like these executives that are getting, like, when I've raged about it back when it happened with Bobby Kotick getting whatever absurd amount of money to leave Xbox after Microsoft had bought them, or bought Activision, right? I've raged about that because it's insane to me. So we're seeing that level of corporate greed, but that's not a crash. That's not a crash. That's a separate thing. So yes, there's arguments to be made about it, but I don't know. I don't know if I would say this is a crash.
Real quick, BT Maverick is asking, did I get skipped? Probably, and that's 100% my fault. Oh, whoa, whoa. Let's see, BT Maverick with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. So much, by the way. Yeah, you got squeezed in between the hamburger of me losing my shit over Mash and Yadani. Thank you so much, BT Maverick, for the $5 super chat. I really, really appreciate you. He says a PS5 Pro is $780 with disk drive. The PS5 Digital is $700. Sony is trying to get away with changing the naming convention. That shouldn't be okay. What do you got? That's actually a good point. What do you guys think about, like, the naming convention? And again, DeMarco, this is probably up your alley because this is marketing, so it has to convey something familiar to someone who's already in the space, right? So, does a PS5 Pro, does the naming convention, do you think that's fair? PS5 Pro, because it's not like they can just call it the PlayStation Excelsior or something like that, right? And then people go, oh, it's the next PlayStation. Would that be better? Would that be more scummy? Because if it was me, I'd be like,
no,
I'd call it the PlayStation
look at
Series X.
Yeah. The only example you need is the Wii and the Wii U. I think that is quite literally the only example you need of how not to name a console.
Yeah.
PS5, yeah. The Wii, for those of you who might not know, the Wii U failed horribly. And because largely of its name, and people didn't know what the F they were looking at when they went to go buy it. They're like, Wii U. Wii is $100 cheaper. I don't know if it was actually $100 cheaper. I don't know what the price difference was, but like it didn't make sense to anybody, especially with a Nintendo Wii that's meant for like families. So you have mom, like, you want to talk about mommy buying a console for Timmy. The Wii versus the Wii U was legitimately it. So PS5 Pro, it's safe, it's fair, it's fine, it's normal, it's standard, it's expected.
I think you have to stay with something like that so that people don't think it's a different generation.
Yep. And then they feel bad, and then they go on this whole like rant and calling the company and having a bunch of ugly business and reviews and whatnot.
You don't want to have the wrong naming convention, because for God's sakes, when I worked at Amazon, you have no idea how many people were like, I wanted the Xbox Series X, but they got the Xbox One S instead. Like, okay, this is a problem.
Right. And I think BT Maverick was just saying, like, PlayStation Pro digital, like, they need to be very clear about that, because a lot of people might have a library of physical games that they think, I'll just port it right up. You know, can you imagine
selling your PlayStation digital because there's no physical version? Like, you can't call it the digital because there's no other alternative.
Which I think is a problem, because if you can imagine someone saying, I'm getting the PlayStation 5 Pro, I'm going to trade in my PlayStation 5. I'm gonna trade in my PlayStation 5 to get some money discounted off of the new hardware, and then they bring it home and they're like, why isn't the disc going in? Why is it not going in? Why isn't it doing what it's doing? That's awful. That's a really good point. Now think about it. Fuck that. That's fucked. And speaking of fucked,
isn't that illegal?
It should be. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Talk to Rim Giant about that. Anyway.
Okay.
All right. So
Sony's not acquiring Nintendo. Could be.
So in conclusion, I do agree with you guys on most of what you guys talked about earlier. I do disagree on a couple of things, like I always do. But the consumers will respond, and they definitely will this holiday. So we'll see how it goes, Sony. But you're gonna have to take the L on this one, guys.
I mean, I thought nobody was gonna buy the Portal when I found out what it actually was, and I was like, huh?
3%.
$200?
3% of the PlayStation 5 fan base. No, Holly, the reason they sold out is because they only had 2
because they only
Portals
make like 5 at a time, right?
They only put. I actually talked to a GameStop regional manager. He was visiting the store that I was, looking at games at the time, and I asked him, so how's the Portal selling? He's like, oh, they only gave. So I think New Braunfels has like 4 or 5 stores throughout the whole region. Mm-hmm. They only gave 10 to all 5, so 2 each. Yeah. So of course they're gonna say we're outselling it. Yeah, because you're only giving 2 to each store. Mm-hmm. What happens when you give 50 to each store? Let's see how it sells out then. It's not doing very well. It's not. Like DeMarco said, it's not living up to what people think it should be doing. Running native games on a handheld, and it's not doing it. It's the stupidest thing. You have to connect it to your console, and you have to be. It's why? Sony, God, Jesus Christ. PlayStation makes great games, but Sony makes stupid decisions around them. I just don't understand. But then again, Microsoft does the same thing.
Chat, just AEC Vic. It is. That PC that I was talking about that had somewhat comparable. The GPU was in there was the 4070 Super. So, yes, you are correct. A 4070 is probably mostly equivalent to what they're doing with the Pro.
Okay. We've had such a good talk about this. It's literally taken up the entire show. Lotus Esprit says they're talking to Moose about something. I'm not joking. Do not buy it. Oh, are they talking about the...
the Portal.
The Portal. Yeah. Lotus says, but also remember, I play everything on performance mode at 60 to 120 frames. I do not even play 30 FPS games like Hellblade. Maybe you're not... Yeah, everyone's got their preference, for sure.
Yeah, but the thing is, Red, 60 FPS was advertised as the standard for consoles. I gotta hold Sony and Microsoft to that. I'm sorry.
So was 8K, which nobody needs. But
yeah, but that was another stupid decision by Sony. They shouldn't have put 8K on that damn box. Like I said, I critique both sides.
GameSeeker just gave a California super chat. If you want to read that, Red.
California super chat. Game Seeker, thank you so much for the Californian $5. Thank you so much, Game Seeker is one of those people that just gives and gives and gives. They'll just like randomly show up on someone's video and just drop money for no reason other than just to be generous. There's so many generous people like Lotus and Yadani and BT Maverick and Mash, and like there's so many people to name, and it's really humbling. And so again, thank you so much, Game Seeker and Lotus and Yadani and all you guys so much for all the support. It's really timely right now, especially it's keeping me alive. They said, Game Seeker says PS5 Pro $950. $950 before tax in Canada. This is the most expensive console in history. Hard no brother. Ooh. It's funny, whenever I was making the thumbnail, I was trying to get a quality high res image of the dude being like, ooh, brother, and I couldn't get it, so I just didn't use it. But so I got Kratos with the eyes popping out of his head. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Can you imagine? No, I can't.
But I will say, I think the next gen, like the next generation consoles, you should expect prices closer to this.
For
And
sure.
if it's a next gen box,
Yep.
that's a different story. But a mid gen,
$700 for next gen consoles. I think next gen consoles will be $750.
Yeah,
Okay.
which
I think they'll be between that 650 to 700 range.
I'm expecting 750, and then if you want a disk drive, 800.
and we've talked about this. I mean, this is why if it was a next gen console, I could probably understand the price point. I think it's like the bottom line.
Yeah.
It's a mid-gen game, or excuse me, it's a mid-gen hardware for this price point, and it's subtracting things that the current gen already has for just a slight boost. It just seems, it just doesn't work, as Todd would say. So anyway, I don't even know if we have time. It's up to DeMarco. DeMarco runs the show. He's the man of the hour. We have thoughts on. We were going to talk about State of Play. It's coming, but we thought that the PlayStation 5 Pro was going to get announced at State of Play, which was rumored for November.
Yeah, even the State of Play doesn't, like, for fuck's sake, it's been 4 years since Ghost of Tsushima. You can't announce the sequel or tell us what Sucker Punch has been doing.
That's another thing. It's kind of bold. This thing comes out on November 7th, and they don't have a game. It's a mid-gen, so that is not necessarily something that they tie to that, but it is kind of awkward to release a console with not knowing when the next game, like exclusive game, is coming to the console without a date. So I guess they're prepping this for the State of Play, and I'm assuming we'll see a date for the next game sometime in 2025.
Death Stranding 2?
No, I think it'd be Wolverine. We haven't seen Wolverine in a long time. I would probably see something.
No.
But it has
Wolverine's
to
not
be.
coming
But it
out
has
for
to be a
2026.
current gen only game. It can't be one of these stragglers that's doing the cross gen thing.
So,
Yeah.
let me just put this into perspective for everybody. As someone who follows PlayStation a lot more than the other three panel members, I'm just saying that because it's true.
That's true.
So, people want to complain about Xbox and how they're going under, which, to be fair, a couple points are debatable whether that is true or not. You look at PlayStation; they just announced a $700 PlayStation 5 Pro. That is digital. They should advertise that part, because you don't want to buy a PS5 Pro with your discs and then realize it doesn't have a disc drive. That is, in my opinion, scummy. Not to mention, if you want to play your discs, you got to spend another $80, which with tax is about $100. So let's keep that fair. Overpricing hardware. First party lineup. They got, as much as I'd like to say that they've had a great year, they've had nothing. If they didn't sign deals for Stellblade and Rise of the Ronin, or make a deal with Square Enix, they would have, or not even Helldivers 2, they would have just had Concord and Astrobot. That's not good, guys. Most of the
Yes.
studios have been working on games for years and haven't even announced it. Wolverine is 2 years out. That was confirmed in the leaks last year. It was targeting 2026 at the earliest, so we're not going to see Wolverine this month. There's no way.
We need to see something though that is.
We need to see something, but it's going to be a long ass time.
I want you to get that PS5 Pro.
That
Whatever.
the leak though for the State of Play, which was leaked by the same guy who leaked this PS5 Pro, and the price and the date it was going to be announced. So he does have a track record here. It's going to be indies and third parties. There is nothing coming from PlayStation Studios. This is, I think, the 4th show that they are not showing anything since May of last year with Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, we
How many
talked
shows
about
did
this
Xbox
on
release
we
through like that?
we talked about this on the ADS podcast. I guessed it on the ADS podcast.
Yes, you did.
this past weekend.
Yes, you did.
And
Congrats.
it was a ton of fun.
You're finally branching out. You should be the one branching out.
It was a lot of fun. But we actually did talk about this. I'm not and I encourage anybody who like leans into drama. I'm always a person, just for those of you who might not know, I'm like, I don't give a shit about all of your drama. I think it's ridiculous and stupid. We haven't seen PlayStation show things off, as you said, Assassin, but this stuff is cyclical. A couple years ago, as I mentioned on ADS podcast, a little while ago, we mentioned how, or a couple years ago, Xbox was in the same position. They had nothing, and the Xbox fan base was like, how can this be? This is terrible. Yeah, they got credit, but my point being is all of this is cyclical. So what I mean to say is that like Xbox was in that position a couple years ago, and now we're looking at the lineup of Xbox games, and it's incredible. It's absolutely great to see all these titles coming out. PlayStation right now is in that slump period, but in a couple years we know they're going to come out swinging, right? And it's very easy to lie into the drama. It's very easy to lean into that and be like, oh my god, and it's great for content creators because they can milk that from you guys. There's 41 people watching here. Again, I said it earlier, don't be a sheep. Like it's that's going to happen. Like just take a step back, realize that Sony and PlayStation, they're going to come back. It might take them a couple years to do so, but they'll be fine. And yeah, they might be in a slump, but Xbox was, and look how they're doing now.
Right.
So that's all I.
There was a difference though, DeMarco. At the time that they were in a slump, they were either done developing games or they were developing multi-platform games at the time. I made a video about it a couple years ago.
Sony made a big push. Sony made a big push into live service, and they're realizing that bit them in the butt. So yes, it's going to take them a little while to recuperate. Because you have the canceled Last of Us project. You have, who knows what the state of that Horizon MMO is in. You have, they just, Concord that just flopped. I mean, some people do. I think Horizon's a cool universe. But
I think it's a unique concept, but I don't know.
I think the gameplay is just it's traditional open world tropes. I think is the problem with the gameplay, and like the world is bloated. But and there's other things too. But like I think the world is cool. But anyway, like so you have Sony invested in this live service. They're realizing, shoot, we had ideally they're realizing, shoot, but that's going to take several years, right? Games are taking longer to develop. It's not 4-year development cycles anymore. So it's going to take a while for it to catch back up, but they will catch back up.
I think also, yeah, I think DeMarco's 100% right. Sony is now going to have to take some time to recover from the Jim Ryan era. And,
the Jim Ryan era is not done.
Just like everything, when you have a new leader come in, they don't just change things the first day, right? It takes years for pivots, for stuff, especially for stuff like video games, because it takes so long to create them. And we have that Haven Studios game coming, which...
Air Games? Yeah.
Yeah, and... I don't anticipate it being the best, but that might actually be the one that they show off to try to, do some of the visually impressive stuff.
It's funny though. They said that internal impressions for Fair Games was positive. That was great, but then you remember they said the exact same thing about Concord.
Well, they're gonna say that because they need the games to. Well, they would they would really love for these games to be successful, right? They're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna
Like Holly
negatively
said
talk
too,
about their
Marco,
own
you
stuff.
need at least one game to launch with the Pro to justify the price.
Or at least
Yeah,
have something on
No,
the
it won't.
horizon that shows what
yeah,
it's
yeah.
doing.
No, I said it will. Sorry, that was wrong. It won't. They just showed that it won't. But like they do. They absolutely need to justify it, and they didn't. That's part of the problem.
yeah, that's all we're
It would
saying.
be The Last of Us
Imagine-
Like
remastered.
I
Imagine
know
how-
games take time. I know they do.
Imagine
I know
how
that.
different the story would have been today if PlayStation came out and they said, "Oh, by the way, we're giving everybody, if you buy a PS5 Pro digital, like we're giving everybody a free copy of The Last of Us Part 2 or whatever game they wanted, that we're giving a free game because we want you guys to see how better it is on the thing." And then you could offer a version without it, maybe. But like, imagine
Hold
how
up.
different the story would have been. Or we're gonna give 2 games. We're gonna give God of War and we're gonna give The Last of Us. 2 of our most popular franchises, comes on the console. You can uninstall it if you want to. Like, the whole thing would have been completely different.
I like. I
And
did
that way
like
you
the
could
tweet
see
that
if
Special
they
Nick said
didn't have a
earlier.
lineup, which they don't.
They don't. Yeah. Anyway,
They don't.
so I kind of like this tweet from Special Nick. I know you Downey likes to call me a Special Nick fanboy, which that's Holly, not me. If they had announced backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 3, that may have helped incentivize a little bit, but they didn't even do that. So yeah, what's the justification
going
here?
on,
You're not
brother?
launching with any games. Like it's like DeMarco said, it's
Yeah,
just
it's-
an update in graphics. Like what justifies a near $300 price hike? No.
Nothing. Not for the
Nothing.
performance.
Not a
Nine.
ding
Yes.
dang
No.
thing.
No. No.
Just
Why?
real quick. So if we, I'll just speak for DeMarco. We probably don't have time to talk about Space Marine.
Y'all
Unless-
talked about it at the beginning.
It's
What are you talking
amazing.
about?
10 out of 10. That's my comments about it. 10 out of 10. I was laughing like a maniac, like genuinely. I was like,
He was so excited.
as I was like
I've never
gunning
heard him
things
so happy.
down.
Yeah.
He's
It
like,
was
hammer,
literally
hammer, every 4 seconds. Where's the hammer?
Where's the hammer? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, where's the hammer? Yeah. Yeah. What's your thoughts?
It's phenomenal.
Your thoughts on
It's I genuinely like there's a gun that like it's one of my favorite kind of. I usually hate these types of weapons in games. The one that like it's a chain gun that shoots faster as you kind of hold down the trigger.
Right.
Normally I hate that stuff. I don't know why, it just feels so good in Warhammer. So I was using that weapon, and as swarms of enemies that were just piling on, like I was
Yeah.
hurling grenades, and I was just like mowing all of these guys down. I was having the absolute time of my life. It's so much fun. Highly recommend it. It brings me back to like classic Xbox 360 days, which is a praise that I've heard from other people. That's not an original thought. But it really is true. It's a great game. It's exactly what I wanted. I would honestly give it a 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10 because of... Not a 10 out of 10 probably because of... We're not late enough, but if I'm just going to judge based on what I heard of other reviews, there's a distinct lack of enemy variety. So maybe I would fault it for the same thing. But...
And
There
the
you go.
fact that you can't crossplay the multiplayer is a
I talked
problem.
about that today.
Yeah, can't
So dumb.
crossplay multiplayer. Absolutely, I would knock off a point for that because
Yeah,
that
I agree.
I'm sure there's technical reasons why. I'm not a developer. I don't know, but 100% I would knock off a point for that. It's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, and it's like you have options to like alleviate the the keyboard and mouse versus controller. Like I understand that, but like people should have at least the option to just opt out of that entirely. But if you're the thing is the game is already limited to 3 players already, which focus
Which I like.
guys,
I
listen.
know you hate it. I like 3-player co-op.
I
I
like
don't know why.
3-player
It just
too,
feels like the
but
magic number. It
it's
feels
like
like the magic number.
If 3 is the magic number, we should at least again have the option to play with 3 players and have like a bot or something. Like there has to be some sort
No.
of way because
Nope.
the
No.
thing that I have seen, the consensus that I've seen from developers, their defense for 3-player multiplayer is this is the best way that we could balance the game. Okay,
Wait.
if that's how you're going to balance the game, then balance the game to have 4 people. It's like it's becoming a trend that I just don't agree with. But
What the hell?
That's it. Yeah,
What?
you okay, Assassin? Are you okay?
Game Pass is getting another price hike after this one today?
Well, that's the end of the Renegade rep. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about what's next.
Wait, never mind. The price
doesn't
hike that
sound
they
right.
announced 2 months ago went into effect today. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I was like, wait a minute, they announced another one.
Okay.
Speaking of Space Marine 2, Red, before
Yeah.
you know.
Go ahead.
Focus Entertainment announces 2 million players on Space Marine 2, biggest launch for Warhammer ever. So
Crazy.
congrats to Focus and Saber Interactive.
It just
It
goes
deserves
to
it.
show.
It deserves it.
Release a good game, you'll get great. Like,
Yep.
this is not
Yep.
a huge studio. I mean, Focus has some great products. I'm not saying that like they're like this is big deal for them. It is a big deal for them. What I'm saying is like
No,
It just
Saber
goes to
is
show-
a good developer.
sorry. Yeah,
Focus was the
Focus is
publisher.
their publisher. Right. Sorry. Yes, thank you for correcting me. Saber Interactive, which I love a ton of their games. Didn't they do Werewolf the Apocalypse, the one that I'm always trying to give people codes for? I'm gonna try to give a code for that right now, actually.
I have no idea. Didn't Saber do that one indie game where
Yes.
I guess okay?
Yes, they did.
Isn't Saber also doing
too.
KOTOR remake?
No, because that's
I'm
canceled.
pretty sure they are. No, it went from Aspire to Saber.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm the worst. I'm the best.
It's
and the worst.
still a thing, but without Sony's interference. So it may come to everything. Maybe.
Holly, you and I have been going hard on co-op lately, and Space Marine 2. So you and I have been playing. We play with Colt, and Colt called me today, and he said, "I want to apologize for cussing you out and calling you an MFer." And I said, "It's okay," because I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. But we did we did try to play with Colt, and he was not having it because Holly and I were playing on hard difficulty, which is the way to go. By the way, if you guys want to pick up Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2, play on veteran difficulty. Is it called veteran difficulty? Yeah,
It's veteran.
It's the way to go.
Veteran,
It's the
veteran.
way to go.
Yep.
Because once we played normal, like let's just see how normal feels. at
We
the
did it in one
request.
shot. The thing we had tried like 15 times before that.
And it was just
It was like-
boom, done. And we were like, oh god, are we too good at this game? It's definitely the way to play. So Holly, do you have thoughts to tell the people how you feel about Space Marine?
I like it.
No.
It's not a game that I find enough of a hook to just go in and play by myself.
Yes, I agree.
feel like I will only want to play this with other people. So everybody who has it needs to hit me up if you want to play, and I will be happy and love to want to play with you at any time that I am available. But I'm probably not going to do it, probably even the PvP until, unless somebody asks.
Okay.
The other thing that I will say is the customization is frustrating.
Yeah.
I still don't quite understand what the heck is going on sometimes, as far as so Red and I got early access, and so the early access came with some extra cosmetics. Couldn't find the cosmetics. Don't know where the heck it is. We're playing on Xbox, Daniel Luna, but it is crossplay, so
I can't type. I typed it
campaign
completely
stuff
wrong,
is-
but yeah, thank you, Holly.
But yeah, the customization stuff. So even the stuff that you get for pre-ordering, you don't have access to it. You have to earn it. So then I'm like,
Yeah, so they unlock
What?
the opportunity. You pay for the opportunity to unlock it through gameplay, which I was
you
like,
just don't get. I don't like that.
I don't like.
I
it
don't
either.
like that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I agree. I wish that because the campaign, the story stuff is tied to the PvE stuff, which is cool because whenever you play PvE, you're playing with your own custom character. I say custom characters. You can't change their face, but you can change their armor, which is cool. So I do like that because it feels kind of fresh. Where you're switching between you're playing as Titus and his squad of 2 dudes, and then whenever you
Assassin.
where's the disk drive? Where's the disk drive? Who did I just make?
Sorry,
fun of?
I'm
Nick?
watching live. No, I'm watching live reactions from normal people reacting to the pro.
Normal people. Okay, so
No,
we're
no.
not.
That's a signal for us to get out of here.
Well, that's about it. Anyway, yeah, Space Marine 2 is amazing. I love it. Assassin hasn't picked it up yet. He's got so many games to play. And Persona 3 Reload is like would you say
DLC
that's
is
your
my-
best game of all time? Is that like the best game ever for you?
It's my game of the year, yes. And for the record, I had to wait because us poor people had to wait to save some money for convenience.
I'm very poor.
Ain't that right?
I bought the game when
Marco?
I had a job, just for clarification. So I pre-ordered the game whenever I had a job. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's our quick thoughts on that. Sorry guys, we didn't have time to get into State of Play, but it's happening, and we'll probably just roll that over into the next episode probably. But we're gonna do something special. Okay, we're gonna do something special. I want to do our first ever raid. Okay, so guys, everyone who's listening right now, and this is not Longhouse, Black Viking has no idea. Black Viking, I would like to support him big time. So what we're gonna do is, if you've never done a raid before, I'm gonna link the podcast that's live right now for the Longhouse Gaming podcast in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna do it here just in a second. And so whenever we end this show here in just a minute, don't leave yet. Don't leave. Stop leaving. I see you guys leaving. Stop it. I want everyone to click on that link.
Fuck you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. I'm so sorry. Nick doesn't like Black Viking, I guess. What we're gonna do, you're gonna click on the link that I'm gonna link in the chat, and everyone's gonna go over there, and we're gonna sub to his channel. We're gonna hit the like button, and you guys are gonna tell him where you came from. You came from the Renegade Realm podcast, and that's all that you need to do. We're gonna go show him support. We're all gonna go over there. So I'm gonna link it right now. There it is, and hopefully, you know what? I suck. If this doesn't work, I swear to God, every time that I try to make a link in the live chat, it doesn't pop up as an actual link.
Please don't.
It's
Please
You
don't.
know you
link your
can-
porn account again. We
You
don't need
know that
another
you can
fiasco.
You know you can send all of your viewers straight into his stream.
Can you do that? Do you know how to do that?
I don't know how to do it right now, but it's a thing that can be done in the future. Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so I just sent the link in the chat, but it didn't go. It didn't do anything.
Here, let me see if I can do it.
Thank you, Holly. Anyway, Holly's gonna save the day. So basically, whenever we're doing our outros, that's whenever you guys are gonna jump over there, show Black Viking and them some support. He was going through some stuff.
There you go.
Is what I'll say. Thank you so much, Holly, for doing that. So
Yep.
let's just go ahead and get into the outros. And as the show is ending, guys, we're all going to go over there at the same time. We're all going to jump over into his stream and just absolutely blow him up.
just FYI, they're in subscriber only mode
Okay.
for 5
Okay.
minutes or longer.
Oh,
So just FYI.
Okay.
Well, there goes that.
There goes that. Well, it shouldn't last that long. Well, they've been live for more than whatever.
I'll just put a message in the chat.
No, you need to be subscribed for
Oh.
5 minutes or
I am.
longer.
I am.
Yep.
Okay. All right, very
Okay,
good.
I'm gonna watch this Legacy Killer HD video about the
Oh,
PS5
there you
Pro. This is. I love his content. I wish Red would stop saying that everything he says is negative. It's not. He's just covering news.
I never said that about Legacy. I
Yes, you
said
did.
That, no, I said that he was on a
Hey,
trend.
just
of
before we
negativity.
start bad mouthing, let's thank you guys so much for watching.
Welcome everybody
Yeah.
to the Renegade Realm. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Assassin, you were speaking about things. Do you want to tell
Keep
people where they can find
Legacy's
you?
name out your mouth.
Damn, DeMarco, Jesus.
Go ahead.
No, I'm
in your
just
conflict
making a
today.
joke. That's purely comical. Sorry.
It didn't sound like it, but okay.
No,
So
it
you
truly
can-
is. It truly is. Just making a joke.
Okay. Alright, you can find me on Twitter and YouTube. The links are in the description down below, so yeah.
You Donnie.
To be honest, Red, I'm not gonna make 10-minute videos on YouTube anymore. I'm probably just gonna make like 5 minutes. Because to be honest, editing is hard. And it takes a long time, like you said. And with my job, I can't afford to do that. I can't afford to take long afford to take long sessions editing videos. I just can't. Not until probably the end of the holidays, to be honest. It's starting to ramp up now. You already know I barely made it on time.
It's like unless you want to work into the night after you get off work, you're not gonna have time for it. It's 100%. That's how it is. Yeah. Editing is a whole thing. Yeah.
I think I just do what you do. Just hit the 6-minute mark and just be done with it.
Elemental, yes, you can redeem the code if you wish, but you had to promise me to play it. Okay? And beat it.
He's not.
King Style said it was already redeemed.
Oh, okay.
Yodani, I resent that.
King Styles.
I fucking resent that, by the way, Yodani. I'm not letting that go. Just FYI.
Yeah, I'll DM you. That's what I'll say. Umbra just woke up. He's like, "Ugh, I want codes too."
What? What? Free stuff? What?
Yeah, exactly. That's how he woke up. He's like, "I heard free stuff." His alarm, when it goes off, it goes, "Free stuff, free stuff," and he's like, looking at his phone.
I see that saying about Chicago is real. If you live in Chicago, you want free stuff.
What?
I've never heard that. That's insulting, but I love it.
I need to slap you next time I see you face to face.
You've never seen me face to face.
That I will bring as a
never
Chicago special. But it'll happen.
Fantastic.
And I'll remember this moment. I will remember this moment.
Fish or something?
Free 99. Umbra, I swear to God, you need to come on the show, and it's bullshit that you haven't come on the show. I'm sorry, it's bullshit.
He's not going to.
I know he's
too
sleepy. I know. But one day, just the next time that you have a free day, take that whole day. It's dedicated to me.
You're just gonna bring Umber on just for him to make fun of Holly and me the whole time. That's what you really want.
It's gonna be great. By the way, I just gotta give a shout out to the Infinite podcast, which Holly is also a part of. I've been loving it recently. I feel like over the past few months, you guys have been cutting loose, and it's been such a funny show to listen to. And it's I just wanted to share the love.
I have 2 or 3 gins before.
Yeah, you gotta have a few drinks.
Wait, I gotta ask, how does Umbra manage 2 podcasts? I just gotta ask, how does he do it?
He's on 3.
He's on 3. Yeah, he's on Boom.
He's on 3?
His own, which is the Fix, by the way. And Umbra, feel free to link your channel in the description or in the chat if you want. And he's also on the Infinite podcast, yeah, which is on Risky.
He's on Tuesdays with Boom at 10 or 11 in the morning. So
yeah,
that's the third one you might not have known about because most of us are at work.
Yeah.
Lotus says he's got skills, son. Love it. Lotus, you're awesome. Anyway, I'm sorry. Holly, tell the people where they can find that Infinite podcast. Is it at the Infinite podcast?
It is. It is. It's on Risk It for the Biscuits channel, I think. And yeah, we're on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Central. Yep, and we took last week off because Risk It was traveling for work, but this week we will be back.
Red's catching up to y'all, by the way.
In numbers? I know.
Yes.
Watch out.
Red, you're catching up.
We miss less shows over here than we do over there, so it adds up.
All right, let's just get this over with so DeMarco can cure his hungries.
DeMarco
we need to Space Marines before DeMarco totally.
Disappointment in PlayStation makes me hungry.
He's like, I love to feed on the anger of the. Yeah, love it. Oh, that was.
I was sending him "Let the Rage Fill Him" memes.
Okay. DeMarco.
That was a Deadpool reference. Rejection makes me hungry.
You're a new permanent panel member on the ADS podcast, yeah?
Yeah, no.
No.
But you can check me out, DeMarco Dude, on YouTube and Twitter. If you liked my takes today, you can check out more of them on those two platforms. Maybe one day I'll share some of my thoughts on YouTube again.
There we go. And all that's in the description. Holly, Assassin, and DeMarco, they're all there in the description. And as well as me, I'm there, Red Wolf Renegade on Twitter. That's in the link of the descriptions. You can follow me on Twitter. That'd be really cool if you got Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter because that's what it is. Not X, but whatever. I don't care. All right, and this is the part where everyone clicks on the link in the live chat right now. We're all going to do our best to go ahead and raid Black Viking Show. And whenever you guys click, let them know where you came from. Let them know this is a raid, and we are coming from the Renegade Realm podcast. To show them some support everyone in the community, because there are so many amazing people in the community. They just don't have a lot of eyes on them. So we meet people vicariously through, we meet one person who knows another person, and it sort of snowballs. And I just want to get more eyes on more people, just to show support, because that's how I would want. I wish I had the support that I had whenever I was streaming this podcast to myself, when no one was watching but me and the people on the panel.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so anyway, I appreciate everyone. Thank you all so much. Click that link in the description. Or sorry, in the live chat right now. We're doing it right now. Guys, do it. Click it right now. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Adios.
Oh, and I suck at the transition. It's great. It's great.
Good show.